Here we are, Gears 5 is over a month old, so by now you should have all played it. Played the campaign, meaning we can post content about the campaign. If you haven't played it at all, this video is going to contain huge spoilers, so watch or turn away now. As the Coalition state, you have been warned. So Gears 5 campaign was so much fun. It was so good to get back into sort of the lore of Gears. The whole of Act 2 had us gripped. The journey towards New Hope was amazing. Coming up to the front door and seeing it all again brought so many good memories back. And the icing on the cake had to be opening those doors and hearing that amazing Gears 2 soundtrack. Whoever put that in the game, kudos, you deserve a raise. Rod, please listen, give that person a raise. Seeing everything back again at New Hope in 4K if you had an Xbox One X. Going back to New Hope in Gears 5 was so much fun. It was sort of brought back all those good memories of seeing when Marcus blew up the door and finding out the hints towards Mira. It was great. The only bad part about the Act 2 through New Hope was the Warden. Not the fact that it was too hard, it was the fact that the game kept glitching. So every time you jumped off the ledge, Del would go through the ice. That was the only painful part about that. That happened to us about 15 times, which was really annoying, which would force you to just restart the whole sort of section. Not sure if that's been patched yet, but just be aware that you may find your co-pilot go flying through the ice and you will instantly die. So I really enjoyed Act 2. I've played it quite a few times just to try and take it all in, all the information that was spewed out of that whole act. It's really good, answers a lot of questions, and it was so good to go back and see all that, and especially like walking around the new facility that you end up finding at the bottom of Mount Kadar. It's just, there's so much detail put into that one act. I think that makes the whole game all worth it. Once you've fought off the matriarch at the end of Act 2, you then presented to Act 3 Vasgar, and this is where the game I felt a bit flat. It was all right. It was just a lot about going back on yourself, which I found really repetitive and boring. The skiff is a good idea, and it seems like a real good idea, but after about 10 minutes of riding around the skiff, you get a bit bored of it. So unless the Coalition are going to add DLC content to the campaign, it just seems like there's such a waste to have that in the game, the skiff. If you was to open up those areas and allow players to explore more of the area, it would just be so much more. Obviously, there's things that probably we haven't found yet, but it just feels like it's just skating around on a skiff and just nothing ever coming of it. So it's it's amazing we've got this new massive game, but if they're not going to utilize that, is it worth it? Act 3 definitely feels like it's the longest part of the game, which is a shame because I say it was the most boring for us to play. But Act 4 comes on, and then it all goes back into the big action, which is more like the Gears of War we're all used to. And it was amazing to see the new detail, and the amount of effort put into the art and the graphics is crazy on the campaign. And that brings us on to the main purpose of this video. So during Act 4, you come across the major threat of the Swarm, which is Queen Rayna. And you're presented with a choice. It was clear from day one that the Coalition were going to make us do this. From the E3 trailer that we saw JD say to Del, what if it's not her choice? That was a clear indication that it was going to be up to the player to make a choice on the fate of a character. That fate would be for JD and Del. Both would be in a situation where you'd have to make a choice who was going to survive. So the big question now is what happens in Gear 6 and how it plays out. Personally, we feel what's happening right now is that TC are analysing the data of our decisions. So we all play the game, and the game maybe tracks that first decision that you make. So it doesn't matter if you play it again, it's that first one it will take. So really similar to how Gears of War 3 was done in the terms of Clayton Carmine. It was save Carmine or kill Carmine. We voted to kill him because no one likes Carmines. They should die, all die, they're useless. So it's very much like that. So back in the day where it was just done online, I think it was done on a vote, so we would get t-shirts for the avatars, I'm pretty sure, or something like that. I can't remember. I know I've got a Kill Carmine t-shirt on my Xbox avatar, so it must have been something like that, or on the forums back in the day. You know, the good old days of the forums where everyone would go on there and be so polite. Yeah. But this way is now it's done data, so the whole game's online, so it shouldn't be too hard to track what everyone's choice was. It's going to be interesting to see how TC handle it. It will either be the way we described, or you would have to make a decision when you started up the game, which sounds like a lot of work. It would mean that the whole game would have to be done double, and probably TC don't want to be doing that. So I'm pretty sure it's going to be taking the data from what we've all done, and that will be the way it goes. So use your vote wisely. Let us know your thoughts on who you saved and why in the comments. We really enjoyed the campaign on Gears 5. It was miles ahead of the Gears 4 campaign. But is it better than Gears of War 4? That's for the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe and turn them ding-a-ling-a bells on, because sometimes we upload Gears videos. GD for now.